Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rosero Network. We're here today with a very special kind of video for you guys. We have Phil from Freejam, who's a producer on Robocraft Infinity, coming to the Xbox One sometime next year, right?
Quarter 1 next year.
Quarter 1 next year. So what we're going to do in the next like 20 minutes, half an hour, is just you're going to give us a run through of the game. We're going to look at the vehicles, look at the modes, just chat and just talk Robocraft.
Yep, absolutely.
Perfect. So can you kind of just, for anybody that the uninitiated, can you just kind of give us an intro about what this game is and kind of its roots?
Yeah, so Robocraft, well, this is Robocraft Infinity, which is specifically the Xbox and also Windows 10 cross-compatible version, is a redo of what we currently have on various PC platforms, including Steam, which is Robocraft, the regular one. This is us bringing it to consoles with a kind of a fresh look, a new approach. It'll be a pay-up-front title, whereas the other one is free-to-play, so that means a lot of the mechanics have changed, a lot of the things we've encountered over the years of development, we've kind of gone, this is the time to fix those things. We can have fresh, new, brand new audience who's never experienced it before, and we think it'll be an awesome thing for everyone who loves playing kind of fast-paced, arcadey console shooter games will really love.
So it's like you build your own robots and then basically like go and battle them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, anyone who has ever played with a certain brand of building blocks as a child will probably be aware of putting something together with wheels and bricks and imaginary guns and whatever else, and potentially going pew pew and smash them into whatever as a kid. This is, you can now do that fully digitally. So I mean, we've got, for example, a tank here, pretty obviously. Variation of that, we've got this kind of giant buggy with anti-aircraft weapons. This has got like laser discs on the front that if you smash them into people will blow them up quite nicely. Wow. Little healing medic bot that flies around and can repair parts of other people's. You've got flyers, stompy mechs, all sorts. So I mean, you've really got the whole gamut of anything you want to build. You really can. You can make it look however you want. You want to build a dinosaur, you can do. You want to build a flying slice of cheese on toast, go for it. Like literally anything is possible.
Do you get many flying slices of cheese on toast?
Oh, we get all sorts. I mean, our community manager's favourite one was a ostrich with actually I think these on either side. So someone had taken this robot and modelled it into an ostrich and painted it black and white and all the rest of it.
As you would.
As you would. And they actually, I think they put the thinner version. So these are the big stompy high armoured mech legs, and then there's what we call sprinter legs, which are much faster. So yeah, we've had all sorts. I mean, we've had we had a sexy snowman in one of the artwork contests. So I mean, you really can do whatever you want. It's basically a 3D modelling tool.
How many Optimus Primes have you had?
Probably quite a few, I imagine. I've definitely seen an X-Wing on the game. So I mean, you honestly can. I mean, obviously, you know, we would not condone ripping off anyone else's IP
licensed
at all.
Things.
We can though. We can.
Sure.
But yeah, honestly, it is complete free reign. You have a limit. We call it CPU, which you can probably see on some of the thumbnails down at the bottom. 2,000 is the limit for a battle appropriate robot. And each cube is one roughly. Obviously,
that plasma tank is really pushing it.
Yeah. So I mean, that big plasma thing on top is probably, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, 80, 100 something. Okay. So you have to balance between functional parts and the cubes that you want to build. Okay. Obviously, you can kind of go glass cannon, loads of guns, not very many cubes, or you could just build a giant health pool with like just one gun on top. The only kind of thing you do have to take into account is one of the USPs of Robocraft is all the bits are destructible in battle. Right. So if that gun is giving you jip, shoot it off.
Right. Okay.
And that is an entirely viable and important strategy in the game. So things like snipers. I don't know if I've got a robot with railguns in here somewhere, but you can get railguns, which are this one's got shotguns. Railguns, obviously, as the name suggests, high projectile, low fire rate, but you can literally cut a robot in half or shoot its guns off it a mile away before it can get near you. So a lot of the game is team play. So if your friend is flying the little disc and he's getting shot by someone with machine guns, your sniper friend can shoot the machine guns off the guy who's harassing him, and then he can get in and blow him up. So if you want to kind of take it to that extreme of, we've got loads of guilds and clans and whatever else on the live game, and you know, they properly work out strategies and they build their robots to complement one another.
Is there a limit to how many guns you can have? Can you just use all 2,000 of
Yeah.
CPU
Yeah.
just to make guns?
Yeah,
A big
exactly.
ball of guns. Yeah.
Our lead designer, Sergey, has what we lovingly refer to as the Sergey gun bed,
Right.
which he is actually Ukrainian, and it is incredibly Soviet in design.
Oh, really? Wow.
It is honestly 40 laser SMGs on tank tracks with just the rest
Wow.
of it blocks.
Okay.
And he
Fair
just
enough.
trundles around, and because he's such a giant health pool, he's quite hard to take down solo. So we're not going to see it today because we haven't actually got it in this build, but our primary mode is Battle Arena, which has capture points. If anyone's familiar with Overwatch or similar games, the aim is to get on the point, you have to sit on it, and then a progress bar fills up, and when it does, you capture that point, and that goes towards a total progress towards victory. So there's 3 of them, so the aim is to control 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 3 to ensure victory. But obviously with his robot, it's incredibly slow, but what he does is trundles to the nearest one to the spawn point and just sits there. And the other team has to actually coordinate an assault with maybe 2 lighter flanking robots to go and defeat him, in which case they're then 3v4 on the... You see what I mean?
Like, there's always a strategy to take someone down like that.
Exactly, there is always a way around it. It's just you have to build smart and then play smart, which is what we think is the depth. And I think a lot of kind of people who haven't experienced it, who maybe primarily play console games, are going to really love about the Xbox One version about Robocraft Infinity.
Okay.
How easy is it to build stuff? Because obviously the controller makes it quite hard to build stuff.
So yeah, so we've always kind of taken it into consideration that we wanted to build almost in first person. So if I go to my inventory here of things that I've got, so I'll just demonstrate very, very quickly. So if let's put on mirror mode. So whatever I build will build on both sides. So I'm not the best at this, but even I, as a complete numpty who normally plays on the PC version, can build a row of blocks. So again, this is just using the triggers, the controls. You can undo stuff, so if you don't want that, you can just delete it. You can build any pattern you want. And let's just fill those in because I do want that there. You can then pick, along the top, you've got all the different categories. So you've got basic cubes. A lot of these is for aesthetic purposes. So you can really design any shape you want, anything you ever need. All the different movement types, propellers. You can build aeroplanes. We haven't seen them yet, but they're quite fun. Weapons, protection. So we've got, these are functional parts. In the top left, we've got what we call a blink module, which allows you to give your robot extra abilities. So the blink lets you teleport. We've got a shield one that erects a shield that stays for a certain amount of time. And then finally, these are purely cosmetic. So we've got cool masks, an altimeter if you want to know how high you're flying, so on and so forth. So let's just very quickly get, let's have some steering wheels first. Let me make sure I'm building it the right way around. Big arrow tells me that's the front.
So that mirror mode straight away ensures you, 1, get a symmetrical
right, which is kind of important.
It halves the amount of work you do as well,
exactly, yeah. So I mean, unless you particularly want to make your robot asymmetrical for some reason. So let's do that there, and then let's maybe put a gun on it. I mean, what gun should we put on it? Any of those take your fancy?
The rail decimator sounds like it could be quite powerful.
Put that in the middle.
So you can literally take that out and just fight with that?
Literally, so if we go test robot now, this will load up our test environment. So this is just a pretty plain, low poly kind of environment to make sure your vehicle runs. Because there are situations where, because it uses physics, you will struggle. So this is quite twitchy because it's a very small car. But as you can see, around the edge of the crosshair, you've got the energy. So you'll see it gets very slightly depleted when I fire it, I hope. Oh, you're not firing. Core blinding, not quite impressive. So as you have more weapons, it increases their fire rate because each one fires in a kind of round robin. And then because each one takes a certain amount of energy, you end up reaching diminishing returns to a point where there is only a certain point having so many weapons except for redundant.
Oh, okay.
So like you can put 40 guns on, but 40 guns will only fire and do as much damage as say 10.
Yeah.
But you can get 30 of them blown off and still maintain your DPS output of someone who does have 10. So a lot of it is deciding, you know, with this you're high risk because as soon as someone blows that gun off,
for sure,
you can run away. There is an auto heal after 10 seconds, but with this you can zoom in. So what I was saying about the sniper. Like you could park up and clip the wings off someone's weapon. Just sit here. There we go, finally. it's got a long
Bit of a
reload on this.
recharge on it.
Yeah, so again, if you have multiples, it will reduce the
Yeah.
recharge just because they'll fire them down a lot. But you can see the little red dot actually lets you know when it's ready to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, if we go back to press the wrong one a bit early. So if we go back to the edit mode, I can then show you how quickly. So say for example we went, yeah, I quite like that, but I don't know, it's maybe too twitchy. That's not my play style. I don't really want a zippy one that's hard to control. You can just go straight back to this. Apologies for the slightly long loading times. This is super duper early build. But yeah, you can go back and iterate. But I mean, while this is loading, I mean, the other thing that's kind of important to note is a lot of this stuff will have things. I mean, anyone who is watching this who maybe knows Robocraft, they'll notice some subtle distinctions. For example, the bay is blue in this. So we've made some minor visual tweaks which just change how the game looks, but we're also going to be changing some other things that kind of annoy us. So the reason it's called Robocraft Infinity is because you've got infinite cubes now. So in regular Robocraft, each cube has to be unlocked in crate drops, and when you get that crate drop, it will give you a certain number of them. Whereas Infinity, as soon as you get, say, 1 rail decimator, you can put as many as you want on. So I've got 6 on this account at the moment, but when we've done making all the code changes, because initially we ported it across and then we're making all these improvements as we go, you will have just an infinite amount. So you can do as many as you want. So as soon as you get the gold-coloured ones, are legendary, so they're quite rare to drop. As soon as you got one of them, that's it. You've got as many as you want. If you want to make a mech leg titan centipede, go for it.
Oh wow.
Fill your boots.
I kind of want to do that now.
So I'll tell you what, let's just show, I'm trying to think, we can now put some tank tracks on, and then maybe we change it up and we're like, let's have lots of little plasmas.
What happens if you're like combining legs and wheels and caterpillar tracks and stuff?
They will all work.
Okay.
So we've tried to make sure that it is all, whatever you build will be viable. There will be some entertaining physics bugs. If anyone wants to Google Robocraft physics bugs, you will find many interesting ones over the history of development. But they will absolutely work.
Okay.
We've had some interesting ones in the past, because balancing it is obviously a nightmare, because you can build anything you want. We've had some insane metas. We've had things like people putting hover blades on mech legs to make jump infantry. So you could like jump off a cliff and then they'd float down very slightly, and you wouldn't really know where you were getting attacked from because you were so used to everything being ground based or up in the air. So with these ones, they're more like a barrage weapon. So with this one, you could just harass people with it. So they don't do as much damage, obviously, as the rail decimator. But for example, because we've got our auto heal, these can be very useful if someone's trying to escape. Say your mate has torn them apart, blown all their weapons off, and they've got a little wheels and they're zipping off. You can just AoE the whole area, and you have to wait 10 seconds without taking damage before your auto heal comes back. So you can just harass them to the point where they can't auto heal. And eventually, either you'll blow a wheel off or they'll make a mistake, and then you just drive up to them and nuke them. So again, each gun has got a different playstyle depending on which movement type you put it with. So obviously this one's considerably slower, much less responsive. I mean, I can wiggle this all over the shop and it's barely going anywhere. So you'll end up maybe struggling in certain situations. You maybe can't alpha strike as well as a wheeled vehicle or a flyer, but you also have considerably more health on the tank track. So we try to make it as intuitive as possible. If it looks tanky, it should have lots of health and go slow. If it looks quite nimble, it should have lower health but go faster, for example. Not always the rule, but 9 times out of 10. So yeah, the other one I suppose I can show you guys is the beautiful robots that I've not made. I'm terrible at that.
How many different guns are there, and could you sort of have one of each?
So the guns fill out what we call the loadout slots, and there's 5 of them in total.
I see.
So I think there's 5 anyway. Is it 5 or
You can't
4?
go too overboard with the guns then.
One of every, like a rocket launcher, you got those SMGs, shotguns, sniper rifles.
That's
and
what I'm thinking.
So
my mind's already working trying to think how I can build this ridiculous robot. You know?
So you can totally have a fair amount of utility to it, but we intentionally wanted it to be, like I was saying earlier, a team-based game. We didn't want one person to just have the ability to have everything. So the whole point is you have to build a team with synergy. Now that may be one fairly all-rounder robot, or it might be a few specialists of each discipline. So for example, this one, let's take this into a little play versus AI, just to show you what it's like against some of the other robots. So this is kind of this is what most players will play in the game will see when it goes live in Q1. You know, you've got your team, their team. Potentially, if you're playing, I mean, this is just against AI, but if you're playing against real players, you'd see their loadouts, so you know what weapons they had, what modules, so you know what you're up against. You can do a
like
little
yours
bit
in
of
the top
strategy.
left, right?
Yes, yeah. So mine, I've got a chain shredder and I believe a power module. So as you can see in my bottom left, my chain shredder is what's selected, and then what I can do is slowly power up. My energy, as you see, will deplete, and then boom, I can use my power module and get it all back.
Okay.
So with this one, it's very good because you actually spend your power drop off is linear, but your damage output is exponential. You lose a lot of power just winding up the guns. So having that energy module allows you to quickly sustain your DPS in a fight. So hopefully, apologies right now for the probably not very intelligent AI. Oh, here they are. So as you can see, so there you go, I'm out of juice now. So this is what I could have done with my teammates or not having my power module on cooldown. Yeah. So now I'm just in trouble waddling. In fact, they've blown one of my legs off, I think. No. Oh yeah, so I'm just hopping around.
Amazing.
So what I can now do, I got some energy back, so my guns off.
If you're one of these kind of human-shaped robots, are there melee options there? Can you have fists and things, or is it?
So at the moment, no. At the moment we've got, when I've shown you that one before with the big blade at the front, so you can do that, and we were talking about doing variants, mostly aesthetic, but for example having a lance version, so you can maybe have one with like a shield module and a lance, and you could do like a kind of cool Robo Knight.
Yeah, kind of like a Gundam type thing. With
yeah, exactly. But at the moment, I mean, the animations are almost all with the movement type. Right. So there's no way to easily map a kind of, I want to hit down, or I want to punch, or I want to pick up, or whatever else. So yeah, I mean, this, you kind of get the general idea, and again, like you can see them get bits blown off them.
So if they shot your other leg off, would you just be there?
I wouldn't be able to move. You just sit there like a wally, but then you've still got your guns. If they shot my legs off, I'm still potentially very dangerous. So you have to pick between, do you want to take away someone's maneuverability? Or, so for example, this guy, let's take your giant gun off. There you go. Strip the giant gun off. And one of these cut him in half.
Wow. So that's him now.
So if I can get that connection point in the middle, there you go. So even though his tank tracks have got huge health, if I blow up the parts that he's attached to, doesn't matter how big your health pool on that one part if you're not attached to anything. So this guy's got electroplates, so the glowing green bits you can see are electro shield, I think you call them. Actually take quite a pounding. So as you can see, it took most of my energy just to get to the armour on his tail, even though he's quite spindly. By careful use of what are basically giant health pools, he actually becomes pretty survivable. Now, if he wasn't completely daft.
You've got the advantage of having all those limbs as well, so you can traverse terrain like that. I guess you couldn't climb the hill in the same way.
Yes, I mean, I can probably just about stomp up it, but for example, I mean, that's put me over the shop. Yeah. Wow. Oh, there you go, a lovely little ballet pose. So, there you go, that's why I see that wall there.
Oh no.
So again, I can write myself the right way up.
Okay, that's alright.
I think that's just a rendering.
Yeah.
Oh well, there's a wall there.
So after 10 seconds, you auto heal, right?
Yes.
So does that regenerate your limbs and stuff like that?
Yeah. So everything grows back. So it's a little bit hard to demo, especially this one. To severely doubt this guy.
Presumably, if you've had your limbs cut off,
you're a sitting target.
Sitting duck anyway. Yeah.
Exactly.
So could you theoretically just chop somebody's legs off like a mech like this, and then just keep going back, making sure you hit them once every 10 seconds, and then they're just stuck.
If you really wanted to troll them.
Yeah. If you
that's a good tactic though, right?
If you want to troll it, you'll keep them out of the fight.
Exactly. So then it's like 5 on 4.
Yeah, but again, I mean, that's where team play comes into it, because hopefully you'd maybe be on voice comms, or you type in the voice chat or whatever else. Type in the text chat, hey, come and help me. This complete so-and-so is bullying me.
That's the kind of thing that I'd do, to be honest. Just troll someone.
So again, like, so avoid his tail. Oh, can I cut him in half? There we go. There you go. So now he's just one leg.
He's a one-legged tail.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can just imagine just one leg just walking across the map, just waiting for 10 seconds to get the rest of them back.
I mean, you can. So, for example, in the larger scale mode, I mean, this is literally, as you can see, just a fight to the death, which will obviously take a long time with the AI. In the regular mode, you would have capture points and bases. If you go back into your base, you'll automatically heal up.
Yeah.
So if you can crawl back to base, you will eventually heal up. But again, like you were saying, with this, you've only got 2 movement types. If my 2 legs are gone, that's it. You're scuppers.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is quite, and again, if the module gets shot off, for example, I can't use the module.
Okay.
So say, for example, if you were a sniper, maybe you try and go for that sweet shot, get the module.
Like a headshot, right?
Yeah, exactly. But in this, maybe if that happened to me, I'd go back to build mode and I'd build some cubes around it.
Okay.
So then you don't know where it is. Like you can hide it within the building of the robot. So that's what I was saying before about there's 2 key parts to it, which is the building and the fighting.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you want to be best in the world at it, you need to be good at both.
Right.
There's a lot of ways we help new players. So for example, you can go on what we call the robot factory and download existing robots that other people have made.
Right.
So we can make it very easy to just pick up and play. You can just come in and just go, I'll just get that robot from there, and someone else has built it and done whatever else, and then you can make it your own. You can, if you don't like the building, if you just want to blow stuff up and shoot people, you can just download it and you can go, oh, my favourite colour is orange, so I'll paint it orange, and oh, I got a rhino mask in the crate, so I'm going to put a rhino mask on the front of it, or whatever else. And apart from that, you can then make your own tweaks. I mean, I always kind of think of it, a bit like in Mad Max and whatever else, where everyone personalises their own vehicle to their own specific needs. That's kind of how I see it. Each person builds their vehicle the way they want to play.
That makes sense.
That guy's only got 1 wheel.
Yeah, he's done too.
So he's probably in a bad way.
Especially because they keep hitting him, so he can't regenerate.
Yeah, you can kind of see the little blue bits coming off him when he tries to peel back.
I don't know how he's surviving this.
So I imagine, because I think we automatically destroy on 10% health. So he's probably on like 11.
There you go.
Right, so now they're all gang up on me. So again, like, as you can see, it takes quite a long time. So all these little bits pinging off are the actual individual cubes being destroyed. I actually think this is maybe because they're aiming for my centre of mass, they don't actually know there's no cube there. So you can probably see shots coming out the back of me if they don't know. Again,
with the legs.
Yeah, again, this is a very early access build. I mean, we took this to E3, but it's even now back at the office, it's had a lot more work done on it.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I guess most people play against other people, right? Because that's where
exactly.
I mean, you don't go and buy a multiplayer shooter and then play against bots.
No, I mean,
it's nice to have the option, but
exactly. I mean, this is the way we see it. Is the first time you get it, you'll pick up Robocraft Infinity, I hope, in next year, and you'll get it and you'll go, okay, so I haven't really got any cubes yet, so I'll go on the robot factory or I'll use one of the existing starter bots, and I'll go into AI and I'll see how the controls work, and then maybe you'll go back and you'll make a tweak, like I said, you'll build a head over the top of it to protect yourself, and then you'll go to test mode and go, yeah, that does work, and then you'll go online, and that's it, and then you'll play against people online and you're like, oh, this is so much fun, I love playing with that teammate, we want to utilise all the stuff that the Xbox has, all the friends lists, obviously all the achievements, all that kind of stuff. We really want to have it as a game that you can just go back to and play and play and play. And build friendships, work as a team. I mean, 5v5 works really well to get a few mates together. But at the same time, it's not so complicated. It's not like Battlefield where you've got to get kind of 40 people collaborating together. All you need is kind of 5 people, all with the same set of objectives. And I regularly win battles with absolutely no communication beyond maybe a map ping or something. Because just everyone knows what they're doing and just get on with it. So I think it's a game that's got great depth. You can pick it up and you can build that rubbish little go-kart that I did, and you can drive it around and whatever else, or you can go super hardcore and you can go on the forum, you can research the meta, you can unlock all the parts and build a genre-defining robot that becomes known. I mean, we've got a guy who plays on the Steam version known as Cluely, and he's literally a superstar in the community because he can do that. play with top clans and you can build your own robots. And that's what we hope to see, a new generation of people playing it on Xbox.
Kind of like the idea that you could start with something really basic like that, you know, set of wheels with a gun on it and just kind of evolve it over time.
Yeah. You know, I want a wing here, I want to be able to fly, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I mean, the flying one's quite interesting as well. So we're doing loads of work to make sure all parts are viable. Like, we never want to be in a situation where it's like, oh, why would you pick that part? Like, if you want to build a plane, build a plane. If you want to build a go-kart, build a go-kart. Arguably, one will be better in battle than another, but they should both be 100% viable. If you're willing to push it and make those tweaks necessary, you will be able to move, you will be able to shoot, you will be able to get kills. So, you know, there will always be times when a certain way of doing it is better than another. But we'll see. I mean, at the moment on live, we've got 13 million players, arguably. In terms of exactly, in terms of people who have accounts who've been playing over the last 4 years, 30 million people have played the game and added to the collections. They've helped us build the meta and fix the issues, and so Infinity is getting all the benefits of those 30 million players and 4 years of development distilled down into one beautifully polished console game.
So it's out early next year, right? Which is after the launch of the Xbox One X. Are you guys doing anything for that, or is it going to be the same between the X, the S, and the?
So we're currently working on 4K support for it to make sure that it'll be ready to do that. Beyond that, I'm not sure. It's kind of one of those ones where. The amount of effort required to make this as good as it should be and as polished to the standards that we need to for Xbox means that we're trying to make sure we do all that now. We're taking all that experience from the other title, pushing it into this, polishing it, refining it, getting everything exactly the way we want it to be, and then, you know, if we have time to do other extra fancy bits, we'll absolutely go for it. So obviously this one's a bit.
Check this out, like a crazy drone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this one has got shotguns, hence my crosshair. What else have we got?
What's the weirdest thing you've seen made?
The weirdest that I can repeat in public company. I don't know. There's been lots of interesting ones. I'm trying to think now of the weirdest. Oh, there's so many. I mean, like obviously we get kind of stuff that's around the zeitgeist. So Trump bots at the moment. We've seen giant floating heads with like a big plaque that says "Obey" written underneath it, colouring guns. You end up getting references. I mean, we've seen, like we were mentioning before, you know, X-Wings and all the rest of it. And you get all these kind of other robots, and each one's kind of styled to be the person that built it to fit their interests and their likes. I mean, the other weird one you get is there's lots of like anime girl statues built out of blocks. So someone's used 2,000 blocks with like no guns to build like an anime cafe maid character.
Fair enough.
And it's like, okay.
How does that work in battle? Just kind of
I don't
distracts
think
everyone, right? So, oh, look at that! Don't shoot it.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much. I mean, like our community manager runs quite a lot of art bot contests, which we certainly hope will continue with Infinity as well. I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't. This is a really underwhelming weapon. This is basically, you may have seen the Needler before. This is similar, so it locks on, and as long as you. So again, this is a perfect one if you're just starting the game. Maybe if you're not 100% confident with first-person shooters.
Yeah, with the aiming, right?
Yeah, it can be quite forgiving. I mean, as you can see, those are still hitting it. The lock will eventually come off. But again, I mean, this is what I was saying about the depth of weapons, is you can pick whatever one suits your play style. You know, if you do just like building something pretty and you kind of just want to take it to battle for a little bit, stick these guns on it and you can't miss. You'll at least be doing a little bit of harass damage, a bit of DPS. It'll work against lightly armoured robots. If you see a glass cannon coming, you can afford to be going all over the shop while they're launching rail guns or plasma volleys, and you don't have to worry quite so much about your aim stability. So, but yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm trying to remember how many shops we've got, how many robots we've got in the shop. But it's millions.
Will they be coming across from the PC version to the Xbox version, those that are already made, or? No,
we will encourage the community to build all their own new ones.
Okay.
So what we really want is a whole, like I say, a whole new generation, or you know, even existing people to come across and play this one as well. In fact, we actually hope some of the existing players come across and kind of set some examples of what can be done. Obviously, they know the capabilities better than a lot of the new players, but we absolutely want people to be able to come across and define all the new stuff. So day one, day zero, launch day, the CRF will have maybe 5 robots. Maybe we'll put these 5 in it, and you'll be able to come and download them and play yourself. Probably a lot better than I am, because apparently I'm terrible with a shotgun dragonfly. I don't think I've actually blown anything up yet. But yeah, we want everyone to build everything from scratch themselves. Absolutely. So the legacy that we have on the PC title is awesome, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. But it's going to be very interesting when we've made some of the design changes. There will be things that are currently viable on PC that are not viable on console. Yeah. On the Xbox version, it just won't work. I've done another lovely handstand.
So do you guys moderate as well? Because I'm assuming there's not hundreds of giant penises running around.
There's more than you would expect. We do certainly moderate, but I mean, a lot of the time we rely on the community. So we set up reporting systems. We will obviously be having various parental controls and so on and so forth. But to be completely honest, we mostly just rely on other people telling us, using the in-game functions and just being like, this is not appropriate. I find this offensive. Screenshot reports. So we're a very small company. I mean, there's only, in the total company, I think there's 40 of us, and there's less than that. So the subset of that is working on this. So we don't have vast resources. We don't have Majolna, the ban hammer. We rely entirely on. Oh no, I've got my guns blown off. I'm not paying attention. Oh no. So this is the thing. I've had my guns blown off, so now it's time to run away.
Lost the propeller as well.
Bottom left. There you go. Ooh. There we go.
There goes back.
All healed back. So yeah, so we do truly, we like to be really community focused, and again, that's something we really want to have on the Xbox version, is having the community make the game what it is, be it defining the meta, be it designing the best robot, be it taking part in the competitions, highlighting any issues, so on and so forth. We are here for the players, and we want the game to be what they want it to be. Robocraft is ultimately about having the freedom, and Robocraft Infinity is about complete freedom, infinite freedom. So yeah, anything we can do, any feedback that we have, we always take on board and we always consider, and we always want that for Infinity and for the other versions we have.
Excellent. And you said the game's coming out early 2018, right?
Yes, Q1 2018 will be getting out. I mean, there will be more information to come before then. Again, my apologies for the state of my playing and the state of this build, but at least you kind of get an idea of what it's going to be like, and the fact that it is up and running already. We've got plenty of time to get that polished, to get those tweaks in, to maybe not have the AI so it's complete Wally that just drives into the wall, but still you get the idea. But yeah, Q1 2018, Robocraft Infinity on Xbox and Windows 10 as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming in. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, folks. Bye.
Bye.